All right, I want to make a video about this factoring method called slip and slide factoring. This is actually my preferred method for factoring quadratics. It's fast and it works, and so I wanted to say a few words about it. There are other videos you can find online, but I felt like I wanted to make my own. So here goes. So what we're factoring are things that are quadratic, so ax squared plus bx plus c, specifically ones where your a number is something besides 1. Okay, so like this example here, my a is 4. So let's actually write this down. So here I have a is 4, b is also 4, and c is -3 in this case. And so the idea is that it's difficult to factor when a is not 1. It's easier to factor when a is 1. So we're going to make a replacement. Okay, and what exactly are we going to do? So we're going to replace a couple things. So we're going to replace c with a times c, and we're going to replace a with 1. And so what does our function become? So a becomes 1, so we have 1x squared. We're not doing anything to b, so 4x, and we replace c with a times c. So instead of -3, we're going to write -12, which is -3 times 4. Okay, and then this we can factor. So we make our x here, and we have -12, and our middle term is b, which is 4. So what multiplies to -12 and adds to 4? I think 6 and -2 would work. So this thing would factor as y equals x plus 6 times x minus 2. And from those factors, I can easily write down the zeros, which are going to be x is -6 and x is +2. All right, so what does this tell me about my original problem? Well, for that, let's take a look at the graph. And so let's make a couple of comparisons here. So in blue is the replacement function that I factored, and I saw that the zeros were -6 and 2, which we can see on the graph. My red function is the original one that I actually want to factor, and these zeros are different. It's a totally different graph. But if you look carefully, you can see that there's a relationship, right? This 0 is 2, this 0 is 1/2. And so this 0 is 4 times as big as this one. And similarly, we have -6 and -1.5. This 0 on the blue graph is 4 times the 0 on the red graph, which is not a coincidence because my a number here was 4. Okay, so let me just write that down here. So these are 4 times bigger than the zeros of my original function, y equals 4x squared plus 4x minus 3. All right, so if I wanted to factor my original one, what I do then is I start with these factors. All right, so x plus 6 and x minus 2, but I have to divide by 4. Okay, so let me divide this by 4, divide this by 4. Okay, and now here's the thing, like these two fractions we can reduce because they're not in lowest terms. So I would write as x plus 3/2 and x minus 1/2. All right, so we don't want to have fractions in our factors. So let's take a side note and remember that if we were to figure out the zeros, we would write x minus 1/2 equals 0. If I multiply both sides of this by 2, so let's do that. Let's multiply this by 2 on the left and multiply by 2 on the right. Well, 0 times 2 is 0. If I distribute this 2, I would have 2x minus 1. And so kind of the effect of that is this 2 is going to kind of slide over here. That's why it's called slip and slide. So this 2 similarly is going to slide here. And we have y equals 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. Okay, so are those the right factors? Well, let's check. So if I want to check my work, I can multiply these things together. So remember how we multiply. We make this box and separate it up. So I have 2x plus 3. I have 2x minus 1. This piece is 4x squared. This piece is minus 2x. This piece is 6x. And this piece is minus 3. And so if I add all those pieces together, I have 4x squared. I'm going to have plus 4x and minus 3, which is exactly what I have here. Okay, so these are the correct factors. All right, let's do another example. Clear out of here. So example 2. Let's factor y equals 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. All right, so let's remember what we do. So we're going to make a separate function. We get rid of that 3. We keep our 5x in the middle, and then this is going to become negative 2 times 3, which is negative 6. All right, and so I need numbers that are going to multiply to negative 6 and add up to 5. And I want to say that 6 and negative 1 would work. Okay, so the factors over here are y equals x plus 6 times x minus 1. Okay, and so that's my starting point. When I come back over here, x plus 6, x minus 1, but I need to divide by that a number, which is 3, divide by 3. And now in this case, 1/3 is already reduced. 6/3 is not reduced, so I need to reduce it. 6/3 is just 2, and then because this other one doesn't reduce, this 3 is going to just slide up to the front here, so 3x minus 1. All right, and let's just verify that we got the right answer by multiplying. So multiply these together. We want to multiply 3x minus 1 by x plus 2. And so here we have 3x squared. Here we're going to have 6x minus x and a minus 2. And so altogether, what are my pieces? Well, I have 3x squared, 6x minus x is 5x, and I have minus 2. Okay, and so sure enough, these guys match up. So slip and slide factoring, it works.